what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well, and I am coming to you from a slightly different location today. We are going to be tackling my yarn storage. Okay, so it has recently got kind of out of hand. Like I have some drawers behind me where all my yarn is supposed to be kept, and it's in the corner of my bedroom, and my bedroom is not very big. And yeah, so we need to tidy all of this up, get it all organized, get it kind of like semi-boxed away, kind of like sorted out into like project plans and things, because I do have rough ideas what I'm going to be using some of this yarn for. So that is kind of like our little task for the day. I warn you now, it's just a big mess. Just promise me you're not going to judge me too harshly. So I have my cup of tea, I've got a big bottle of water and a snack. We are going to crack on and just get started. So let's get going. So here we go guys, this is what we are going to be working with today. So this is kind of just like a really small corner of my bedroom, and as you can see, it is a big old mess. Like, and like this is my bed. Like my bed is like here. I've got my chest of drawers here, and yeah, it's just too much kind of going on. So we're going to be sorting all of this out together and going through it all. So I did attempt to start tidying all this not that long ago, probably about a month ago. I was kind of like starting to wind up some balls of yarn. I have got like my yarn winder all downstairs, so my plan is to kind of like pull out boxes, see kind of like what yarn I've got, get it all sorted out into like colours, and like wind some of the balls up so they'll be smaller and easier to kind of like store in these plastic storage containers, and then hopefully kind of like separate some of the yarn that I have projects planned for, and then maybe keep those within easy reach, and then maybe box up the rest of this, because one of the big reasons that we're planning on doing, or one of the big reasons that we are doing is because we are hoping to move house soon. So we need to kind of like get things tidy so that people will come and have a look at our house. So let's start with drawer number 1. So this one actually isn't too bad. Like I said, I have been trying to work my way through a lot of this stuff fairly recently. A little bit of a scrap. That's not too bad. I think I'm just going to pop that to the side for now. And then again, another box. This one's quite empty. So this box on here, like one day I'm hoping to set up a little like Etsy shop. So I've got like a few bits of like ready-made like baby cardigans kind of to go. And this is just like props and things. So we've got lots of random bits in here. So we'll go through that in a minute. My sacrificial pillow that I use to kind of stuff like plushies with. So we need to kind of do something with that bad boy. An empty tote bag. Okay. So here is a like half completed project. I'm not going to go too much into this. I had a bit of a malfunction when I'm seaming this together. Basically, I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. I seamed one side the wrong way and the other side the right way, and it's all coming apart. So we're going to talk about that another time. Let's move that out of the way. Okay, yarn from that project. Ooh. And then we have just a big bag of more yarn. More bags. What's meant to be kind of like my current projects, but has now just turned into balls of yarn. Another bag. Some gift bags. Oh, this is Doddy. She is my childhood dolly. Falling apart a little bit. She is 37 years old, so, you know, she's seen better days. Needs fixing. Pop her to the side. Get you out of the way there, Dots. A project that I was ripping back. Oh, this is getting better. Better bring you down a bit. Here we go. Some more stuffing for a kilo. Ooh, so I've got yarn scraps. So I have been saving my yarn scraps in like little baggies and like putting them in kind of like colour packs, because I plan to kind of have a go at spinning, like hand spinning some like scrap yarn. So I want to keep all of that sort of stuff together. That might be quite good. I've got a project and a ball of yarn all the way over here. Okay, I need to figure out where I'm putting all of this stuff. A needle bag. Ooh. Scrap yarn. Ooh, hello scarf. Oh, more scraps. Full ball. Oh. So with some projects I like to kind of keep them in these little bags that you get from Lidl. They're like veg bags, so they're quite good to kind of like organise when you've got like a little project all together. So I'm gonna pop that to the side for now. So like now we can kind of see the floor a bit. Another yarn scrap bag. Yarn scraps, yarn scraps. Sock. More socks. More yarn. Scrap, half a ripped back granny square. This was like one of my first like granny square projects. I made like a granny square tote. I was trying to get used to working a granny square, and I made like a whole little like kind of like crossbody bag, and then I decided that I was never going to use it, so I ripped this back and actually made my dad a hat out of that. So yeah, I've got this left to kind of rip back along that, and then I've got another doll. Ooh, she needs fixing. My mum bought me that quite a few years ago. She was living in Daisy's room, but because she's falling apart, I thought I'd just try and get round to like fixing her and like doing something else with her. I'll pop up there out of the way for now. Okay. Wrapping paper. Okay, so we can actually see some more of the boxes. This one I think is semi-tidy. And this one, okay. This is my big bag of like stuff that I got from Timo. So like my spindle or hand spinning thing. So that can all get sorted out and hopefully put into some boxes. More scrappy bits. Okay, and some more yarn. So I want to keep this stuff together because I have a project in mind for this. So a couple of years ago I started making like the Rory Gilmore sweater. If you've ever seen Gilmore Girls, you will know which sweater I am talking about. It is from the pilot episode, and I had bought some sort of like chunkier yarn from it, and I started making it, and I got quite far like with one panel, and then like I just didn't like the way it was looking, so I ordered this, and it's a slightly nicer yarn. It's got a little bit of wool in it, so I think overall it will look much better when I make it out of this. So that will be a future video actually, because I still have like I spent a lot of time like researching the sweater and like figuring out the stitches and like looking at like another tutorial for it. I tried that tutorial and then found that I didn't like the way it was looking, so I kind of like ripped that back and then started again. I started that project probably about 4 times and have completely ripped it back. But no, that is one of my plans, kind of hopefully maybe by the end of the year, like autumn time, I might bring that out. If not this year, then maybe next year, but we'll see what the year brings, because that's quite a long project. That'd be like a long like project to kind of like make and to film kind of type thing, so that can probably stick somewhere together. And then for my birthday last year, my stepmom bought me this pack to make a blanket. It's got all the instructions, all the yarn, so I really want to start this at some point as well. That would be like a really cool, like, I think, project to do, like with you all, kind of have it as like an ongoing like vlog video type thing. So again, but that's already like nice and packaged up for me. What is it? So this is called the Picnic on the Beach Blanket by Eleanor Tully. So it's really nice. I don't know if I can. So that are really cool. That's something I need to kind of keep aside and work on at some point. Okay, and then now these are kind of, I've got my Knit Pro needles. They probably could do with a sort out and tidy up. I'm missing the 4mm hook, 4mm hook needle because it broke. It was so heartbreaking. Still distraught by the fact that it broke, and yeah, so they need sorting out, tidying up, and I need to find all the wires. I think I've got one cords. Oh no, wait, there's another one. So that's all of that in there. I'll get that all sorted out as well. Random bits of gift wrap. A wedding photo album. Put that to the side for now and figure out where that's going to go. And then I've got a bag of knitting needles. I have a lot of knitting needles. I inherited like all of my nan's like knitting like needles, and then my mother-in-law's knitting needles as well. So I've got loads of knitting needles that need a good sort out. That might just have to be something for another day. I've also got loads and loads of like vintage knitting patterns. I think that would be such a cool thing to kind of like sit and go through with you guys with. I've just got loads from like my nan. One of my friends at work, she like came by like loads of patterns as well. I went round our house and sat there and just went through all of them and brought loads home. So I've got loads of like knitting patterns that will be quite cool to sit and go through. But again, I don't think that's going to be something I can get around to doing today. I only have like 3 hours to do what I'm doing. Need to stop laughing and kind of get on more little bags. I use these for like party bags, I think, for the kids' parties and stuff. I probably could just get rid of those. They came from Poundland. Just pop them in the recycling, I think. I don't really need loads of those knocking about. Oh, Christmas gift wrap. Again, because we tend to use, there's like a little cupboard behind here. We use that for like storage, and we need to go through that quite desperately because it's full up with like junk and stuff. So, and normally like this kind of stuff gets kept in there, but because of my yarn mess, but not being able to get into the cupboard. So I'm just going to move that out of the way. Whoops days, you're back now. And I've also found a crochet hook. Okay, so we've got everything out. Okay, so this is kind of like everything. Ignore all the other mess that is around in my room. Please don't judge me too much. So this is kind of like everything. So these tubs, this used to be like where I kept my yarn. I used to have like 2 boxes of yarn behind the sofa, and that's where everything was. So we need to kind of like go through there and I think put stuff in there, maybe stuff that I'm not going to use. I think I might try and kind of keep as little yarn as possible in like these kind of drawers. Maybe the yarn that I have plans for, like imminent plans, and then everything that I know I'm not going to be using will kind of ball up and put like in these tubs. And as you can see, there's like loads of just stuff like in these tubs. These are old like kids like play mats that I kind of kept hold of and I use to like occasionally block. I've only got like 4 segments of this. I should really get myself some blocking mats rather than using these because they are pretty useless. And then this is, I've got like bits of random patterns that I printed off. Bags. So, oh, this is some stuff that I got like half done bits of like knitting. I think this was stuff that my mother-in-law had started. Kind of keep onto that for sentimental like reasons. Or is this stuff that my nan started? I can't remember. Just a random bag of stuff like just mental. Airplane, yarn, more knitting needles. These are all the ones that I got from my mother-in-law. They used to be her mum's. Oh, I'm feeling really daunted now. There's so much stuff to sort out. Oh my goodness. And then, oh, this is the yarn that I had bought for the Rory Gilmore sweater. It's nice yarn, but I think it just was going to make the sweater really, really thick and heavy. So I'm making Daisy like a little granny square cardigan out of this at the moment. So that'll be like an incoming like tutorial at some point. It's just all of this cotton and stuff. Oh god, it's just an absolute tangle of stuff to go for. Okay, we'll leave these boxes for now. Maybe focus kind of like on these boxes and these bags. Get these bags all like sorted out. So I managed to get my yarn winder all like set up on the windowsill, and then I've got an empty ball, like an empty drawer all set up and ready. And I've got one ball that I can officially pop straight in there, and then I've got to try and find all of the like the light colour stuff, get that wound and put into like this top drawer. I've got a few that I've already like wound up. So these are all the like, this is like the colour that I'm using for like the border on all of my book blanket. So this is stuff that I'm going to need to be kept out, and then I need to kind of keep in mind what books I'm going to be reading so that I can kind of try and keep the colours of the covers available as well. So that needs a wind up. This one's all caught up in a bit of think I might have to cut this bit. Where have I got this? Yeah, I've got cotton caught up in this bit. Let's get rid of that bit. I need to get a bin bag really to kind of put some rubbish in, and then I'm sure there's going to be some yarn that I don't want to keep, so I'll have to kind of like put some stuff in a bag to kind of like donate somewhere. So there's another one that I can get all wound. So we are getting there really slowly. I have managed to box up some stuff that I know for a fact that I'm not going to be using anytime soon. So in here mostly is kind of like chenille yarn and like yarns that I have no intention of kind of like starting projects with anytime soon. I know that I'm not going to be making any plushies, that's why I'm putting all like the chenille stuff away for now. I mean, I've got yarn that I haven't either like winter project or projects that I haven't quite got ideas for as of yet. I've got like half a finished Della duck. I was going to make like a really little mini one. I've made Daisy a Della duck before, and this was the original starting point, and it was going to be too small, so yeah, that's still knocking about. So I have a few balls of stuff that I haven't really ever used. I've had this yarn for years. I thought the colour was going to be different when it came, and I don't think I like the colour, so that's probably why it's still there. And then I've got 2 balls of this I picked up in a charity shop, and I'm not sure if I'll ever use it, to be completely honest. So there's a couple of things that I'm like, will I use? Should I get rid of? Whoop. So I'm thinking of maybe getting rid of these ones, possibly. And then this is kind of like where we're at the moment with everything. Like, walk over. Ooh. So in here is just kind of like all my neutral like whites and stuff. I've been like winding them because they just kind of stack and fit much easier. And then this is like a whole project all in this little bag, so that can kind of like live maybe in one of the drawers. I was thinking of emptying this basket because this is supposed to be my kind of like current project basket, like just emptying this out and just kind of, I've got to take that off. I'm not going to be using this pink yarn for this jumper that's been on the needles for like ages. So this is like, ooh, most of a completed project. So yeah, that's kind of like where we're at, like at the moment. It's just so messy, so much to do. Just bagged up the yarn that I'm using for this project. I'm going to pop this in here, and then I've got, I think, one other project that I'm working on, so I might pop all the yarn for that project. I don't know if I've got any more of these little baggies, but keep all of that in here, along with this one as well. And then this, I've got lots of, I have this pink roving yarn that I've got a jumper planned to make. That's going to be like another tutorial as well. So I think I'm going to like wind this up possibly just so it sits a little bit neater in one of the drawers. No, it's bloody green cotton. I don't even know how it has got wound around this bit of yarn, but it has. It's going to be the bane of my life, I think. Oh, I just found, this is completely random, but I just found like the perfect blue for my next book square. The book that I'm currently reading is called Lights Up, and it's all kind of like blue and black. And I was originally thinking, oh, I have to use like this colour blue for it, but I think this one is gonna be perfect. So I've just put a load of yarn in like this bag, like carrier bag here. The idea is that I will wind all of this up so I can pop it in these drawers, because like it's much easier to kind of like store like a caked up ball than it is this. Like this is so bulky, but this I can literally just stack. So I've got two future projects stuck in here, so I'll get to winding those maybe later this evening, and then they'll just sit nicely like in here. So yeah, I can pop that to a side. But for now, this, I'm not sure I'm going to bother winding this up. It's quite small. I'm going to go squish that in that box. That big box over there. Double knit black yarn. Always going to need the black, I think, so that can go in here for winding. It's just really awkward trying to like wind everything up like by my windowsill. It's just not working. So I'm going to pop that to the side as well. In there. Little bits is really quick and easy to do, so I'll quickly wind that one up. And this little ball as well. It's quite neat, but it's winding. So yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. I've got currently like half an hour before I've got to go to the school run, and then I might get caught up at the park, but we're getting there. We are getting there. So I've decided I'm going to wave sayonara to these like old playmats and maybe get myself like a proper set of blocking mats, maybe for my birthday or something like that, because these are just, yeah, they just don't work very well. So this is like my little bag rubbish that I've got going on at the moment. So I can go and leave them there. And I've still got like loads of these little needles like knocking around. I don't think I've used these before. Look how tiny they are. What would I ever use them for? Yeah, I need to kind of really sort out like all of my needles and figure out like what's worth keeping, what's worth maybe donating to somewhere. Not sure these I thought these ones were split for a moment. I don't know, they might be, but these are only like cheap nasty little ones. So I'm back from the school run and like a little quick trip to the park. And I feel like I'm kind of making some headway. So I've got a pretty big box full of yarn that of all stuff that I'm not going to currently kind of be grabbing for. And then I've got my bag of stuff that I'm going to wind. I've got another bag of current project stuff. I've got a little trolley that I kind of keep some books on. I might just move my current projects yarn over there. So this is all the yarn that I'm still using for my little vest that I started weeks ago. That should actually be finished by now, but I've been procrastinating with that a little bit. But that's kind of like one of my next projects. So I'm currently working on like a cardigan that will almost be finished. That will be the actual vlog that's up before this one. It ended up taking a little bit more of a kind of twist turn than I had anticipated, so that should have been finished by now, but it's not, because I'm kind of just making it a little bit more than I had planned. So I'm going to finish that one off, then I've got to finish that off. So I have like a plan of like what projects I'm going to be kind of completing, and then I've got like a few projects in my mind, so I'm going to keep all the yarn back for that. But behind me, like, the drawers are quite empty still, and I'm gonna sort of like swing you around and show you kind of like where we're at with the drawers at the moment. Just a little quick sip of my coffee. Also, how cute is this mug? I picked it up from a charity shop yesterday for £1.50. It's a vintage 1970s poppy mug. They had like a whole range of like bits and bobs. It's kind of tempting to like get a few other bits, but I didn't. So I just stuck to the one mug. But let me show you kind of like where we're at with my drawers and like my plans for the storage at the minute. So in here is kind of just like all my neutral stuff, like all my cream. So this is all the stuff that I'm using for like bordering my book blanket. I've got some like white yarn in the back here, so I've got a couple of baby cardigans that I'm planning on making fairly soon, because one of the optoms at work, she's pregnant, so I thought I'd just make her like a white cardigan. And then one of the mums at the school is also pregnant as well, and I was thinking of just using the browns to make like a little bear, kind of like applique on the cardigans. So I'm kind of keeping all like the neutrals and creams in here, because I do tend to reach for neutrals more often. And then this one's going to be like my kind of like future project drawer. So once I've wound all that yarn, so I've got quite a few balls of this roving yarn to wind up, and I've got like that chocolate brown yarn, but it's not within easy reach, so I was using that for a different project, but I'm repurposing it. I didn't like how it was looking, and I've got another like plan for a jumper for that. And then this one is going to be kind of like all the yarn that I think I might grab for. So with my book blanket, for example, I know roughly what books I'm planning on reading over the next like few months, so I'm kind of keeping like colours aside specifically for that. I'm using these colours in my current project, so I thought I'd keep these just in case I need to grab for those. And then I was thinking like this bottom drawer, I'm going to use, like, put all of my knitting needles and like crochet hooks and stuff like that when I'm not using them, put them all in this drawer here. And then this box that I've almost like emptied out, it's just literally got like really random bits in it, and somehow it's got like rubbers and hair ties and stuff, I don't even know. But I'm going to put all of like this sort of stuff, so the things that, like the little cardigans that I've already made for my future Etsy shop, along with like pushing eyes and like things like this. Just gonna stick that kind of like in this little box and keep that all aside. I've got my little rubbish bag over there, and this is the box of yarn that I've got kind of going at the moment. I've got a huge amount of yarn in there. Like, I highly recommend like caking up all your yarn to make it a little bit more compact. And then this is like stuff that was like in this box as well. So this is kind of like stuff for my Singer sewing machine. My nan had a Singer, and when she died, it was kind of something that she wanted to give to me, because she always knew that I wanted to like learn to sew. So eventually that'll be something that I will hopefully be learning how to do. So I've got bits and bobs for like the Singer, and yeah, one day I would love to have a craft room, have like a little craft, like, I don't know, table, so I could have like the Singer out. It's currently sort of just in its box underneath my stairs at the minute, because it's just so big and so heavy that like it's one of those things like I can't justify like lifting it up and putting it out. It's heavy. I've also got like a mini sewing machine that I bought to kind of like learn how to sew on, but again I just haven't got around to learning how to sew. So yeah, I've got all of that stuff. I've got my nan's old sewing box downstairs, so that needs a good sort out. So I'm going to put all of that stuff like in there with that, like all my sewing little bits and bobs, keep that all together. And then what have we got going on? And then obviously this is just like current projects that I'm kind of like working on as well. I'm thinking maybe, because this basket's kind of like falling apart, that maybe once this basket here is like empty, I can put current like projects in there, keep it a little bit more like compact. And don't mind my like bits of shopping over in the corner there. Yeah, so we're kind of getting along. And here I've got like this random box of like basket of odds and sods that need homes as well, so bits and bobs. And we've got my little granny squares for my book blanket just sitting here. It's my most recent one. I'm actually really happy with that. So yeah, it's kind of like where we are with all of that at the moment. So I've got about an hour realistically before I need to go downstairs and cook dinner for us. So I'm going to crack on, see how much I can get done for the rest of today. This vlog might have to kind of like carry on over a couple of days. I'll be at work for the next 2 days, so I won't have any time to do anything until Thursday. So let's see how much we can get done in the next hour. Ball is in such a tangle. I don't know what to do with it. I can't even find like the other end. It's ridiculous. Part of me just wants to like cut it and then just try and find the other end. Like, I've been trying to untangle it for like the last 5 minutes. Oh, there's an end. I found an end. Okay. That's a start. Like, I could just like cut it off and have like a small ball, I suppose, but I don't know. So tangled. Ooh, send help. Okay, so it's now like 5:30, so realistically I need to kind of go and start cooking dinner for my family. I've done quite a bit. I've managed to make some headway. So, like, this is like the floor situation at the moment. I've got a nice big tub of yarn. The bed's not looking too bad. These are just empty like bags now, so that's good. Oh, this was my project bag, but I stepped on it in the night and I broke it. So I used to kind of like keep projects in here. At the moment it's just got random bits of rubbish in here at the moment, so I've got to go through that, hoping to kind of like figure out a way to like fix this so that I can carry on using it. But I'm really sad about that. This is kind of like a horrible messy tangle I'm kind of like dealing with at the moment, and just random bits all over the floor. But yeah, it's looking okay at the minute. So this is just like random bits and bobs in here at the moment. I'm going to pop all of like my yarn scraps, I think, and keep them in here as well, along with, I did buy, I haven't shown you this yet, give you a little sneak peek, but this is just some like raw wool that I got from Romney Marsh Wools, but that's for another day. So yeah, I'm going to go start cooking dinner, and then I will catch up with you another day. Hello all, it's now Thursday and I've had the last 2 days at work, so we're back on to day 2 of kind of like going through all of my yarn. and getting it all tidied up. So where I left, yeah. So yeah, it's now Thursday and I've got Daisy at home with me today, so I'm hoping that I can get the rest of this all finished. There isn't that much left to do actually, so everything kind of like behind me is just like odd bits that need to kind of like be put places. I've got a couple of like projects that I need to like unravel to get the yarn from. So this is like half, well not half done, but like started anyway. It's quite a difficult one to unravel because I find that anything that's got a bit of wool in it is really difficult. It like snags, and I don't know what happened with this one, but there's like some weird snag somewhere. I need to sit and kind of like figure that all out. And then I've got this big like granny square as well to do. That was quite easy enough. At the moment I've got like all of my yarn scraps just in this basket, and then I've got 2 balls of yarn that are quite tangled. They're ones that I've, I think, previously tried to like wind and then hit a snag, so I'm gonna have to sit there and like go through all of that and get all that all untangled. I put my blanket pack and then those 2 packs of like yarn just in here for now. I'm not sure whether I'm going to put those into storage or keep those out. Don't know. It's trying to think ahead of like what projects I'm going to want to do over the kind of like coming months, because obviously if I put all of my yarn into storage, it leaves me with a very limited amount of like stuff to kind of work with. I have got a few bits kind of like squirreled away, so hopefully I'll have enough to kind of like play with. Yeah, and then I've got this bag of yarn that I need to kind of go through. This was for like a winter like project. I suppose I could probably put that one away because I'm not going to be using that anytime soon, I don't think. So yeah, that's what it really are. Oh, I've put my unfortunate jumper into here. I need to figure out, or just sit down and see if I can untangle the seaming, and then whether it's worth untangling it and then fixing the arm and then sewing it back together, or whether the yarn is going to continue to come apart. Okay, I'm back again. I'm not too sure where I actually got to with all the talking because I just had to go be mum for a few hours. So yes. What was it? And then I've got this like bag of stuff. This is all kind of like half done like projects that my mother-in-law started, and I don't know, like I suppose, well, I mean, we have got stuff that she made for the kids, so yeah, what would you do? Would you rip it back and just use the yarn for something? I've got a few like random little balls in here. Yeah, and then I've got like just a few, I'm not much of a swatcher. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that I don't tend to swatch or check gauge for anything. So I've literally got like 2 random little like swatch panels. And again, what do you guys do with these? Do you just keep them as like little, I suppose, yarn samples? Like this is a yarn that, I mean, I've got this in my stash, but it's not one that you can get anymore because it was an Aldi special buy. And this one, I've got like a small amount of this left, and I think this was a King Cole. Anyway, so I've got to figure out what to do with that anyway. And yeah, then just got a few like other little bits of yarn to kind of sort out. So I'm not too far away from kind of like actually being like finished with this. I think it's just kind of like going through sorting out my needles. That'll be a big thing. I'm not sure I'll get to that with this video, but I've got so many needles. I've got like bamboo needles that I purchased, needles that I've kind of inherited through my nan and my mother-in-law. I just have lots of bits and bobs, and so I might try and sort those out at some point and kind of like, I don't know, categorize them, label them, I don't know. That'd be quite a good idea really, wouldn't it? Yeah, and then just really figure out if I've got all the yarn that I kind of want to keep to hand before the rest of it all goes into storage. And then I've got quite a few balls of yarn that I'll need to cake up so that I can store away. Okay, so I'm going to get to work now and just sort this little bit out, and then hopefully we'll be close to being done. Got yarn stuck in my yarn winder. Oh no. It's all cut under here. Oh. Annoying. So I'm not actually sure if I have somehow broken or upset my yarn winder. Like a bit of yarn got like wrapped, quite a lot of yarn actually got wrapped around it. So I had to like untangle it, and then all of a sudden, instead of like making my yarn cakes look like this and nice and neat, I seem to be ending up with like this kind of weird mess. And it seems to like be pooling like all in one center, and then just it's really loose. So I don't know if I've ruined my yarn winder. It was only a cheap one, so maybe I'll have to get another one. I don't know. So that's kind of like ruined my plans to like wind the rest of this, because it's just making more of a mess than it would do like if I just left them like so. So there we go. So I might as well just kind of like finish like filling up this drawer here. I've got this little kind of So Crafty pack I got from Aldi like ages and ages ago. I had the intention of making this for my mum for her birthday, and that was quite a while ago, so I might just make it. So I've kind of kept that out, and I guess I might as well just pop the yarn in here that I'm gonna like keep out and reach for. See, I've got one more of these downstairs. I managed to drop that on the way out, and then I've got this brown. I don't think I'm gonna need. I've got loads of this, loads and loads of this yarn. I bought loads of this for a project that I ended up just ripping back. So I've got another idea. I'm going to make an October sweater for this, and that is a pattern by So Lovely, Originally Lovely, and I just think it'll look really nice in this chocolate brown colour. But again, I don't think, I just have so much of this. I don't think I'm going to need anywhere near as much as what I've got for that pattern. So I might just keep some of it out. Just trying to remember how much I used for my original one. Might keep like maybe 4, maybe 5 balls, just to be on the safe side of this. Kind of like 2 side. So that's 4. I'll stick 1 more in there, and then I might put the rest of that away. It leaves me a little bit of space in there, just in case. Oh, I was thinking of keeping this Neuro yarn out. So my dad and stepmom bought me this yarn going back a few Christmases ago, and I started making a shawl out of it, and then I hadn't touched it for ages and ages, so I decided to frog it, and I've wound this. I think this is actually like maybe 2 or even 3 skeins worth of this yarn, and I've only got this one left with the pack or with the label. And I think I will continue. I will make a shawl out of this, but I thought I'd just kind of like rip it back, 1 because I didn't know where I was up to, and 2, I just wanted to kind of like reduce down my whips as much as possible. So I think I'll pop this in here as well, and then I've got just this lot to kind of pop. I might keep this little one just to be on the safe side. Squish that so I've just got about that much left to kind of stick into my like basket to put away. I think I will put that in there as well. I don't think I'm going to get around to doing that. I think I'll put that in that little box over there. And this is kind of like my current whips, which isn't a lot actually. So I've got that crochet granny square or hexagon granny square cardigan that I'm going to make for Daisy. So I've started that. My idea is that I'm just going to do 1/2 of it and then do like a tutorial for the other half of that. I've got my jumper that I started last year. I've got a ball of this yarn left out because I'm making a baby cardigan, so I just thought I'd keep this out, and that's just a cardigan that I tend to kind of keep in my work bag and work on really slowly during my lunch break at work. And so I'm going to pop that back up there for now, and then I've got like a full empty basket. So my phone case, this has just got like odds and sods in it at the moment. So I've got like a heart granny square. A few years ago I was going to make myself like a granny square. I say a few years, I think it was like last year. I was going to make myself like a granny square heart cardigan for Valentine's Day, but this is basically as far as I got. I think I had 1, maybe 2 of these. I don't know where the other one's gone. And then like 1 heart. I've got a few measuring tapes and some like little flowers that I've half made. That's just got like some random odd bits in there that just need sorting out. Some scraps of felt. Yeah, I think we're okay. So apart from that, I've got my knock you over, my knitting needles, which I think is something that I'll sort out another time. They're not too bad, not too much like in a way. They're just neatly kept to the side. I'll gradually get through doing that. So I think I might show you kind of like where I'm at now with all of with my drawers. I'll show you how much I've managed to squeeze into just 1 tub. I'm really impressed with myself. So here we go. This is basically everything that I've kind of stored away. So in the top, I decided that I was going to keep this out just in case I get the urge to make like a fluffy, I've got loads of this. I didn't realise how much of this I bought, but I've got loads and loads of this. And then basically all in here is just all the cream yarn that I'm using for my book blanket edging. And then I think I've just got some more whites because I can't remember if I mentioned or not, but I've got there's one of the Toms at work is pregnant and I want to make her baby cardigan. Just currently waiting to find out what she's having, but I might just make her a white one. And then in here, obviously, what we've just seen. So I've got my Neuro yarn, the brown Aran weight yarn, that pink roving yarn, and this is the t-shirt yarn that I want to make a little crochet bag out of. And then, so this is all like, I'm a bit worried about this drawer actually, because it is just full up with, like, I don't want to say odds and sods, but it is basically odds and sods, just stuff that I thought I might need for when I'm doing my granny squares for my book blanket. So I've just kind of kept as much variation of colours as possible. And I did end up choosing to frog back those little bits of kind of half-made cardigans from my mother-in-law, because I thought I can make use of this yarn. I don't have a lot of this. I don't have a lot of red. I don't have hardly any red actually in my stash, so I'll make use of this. And then bottom drawer is like our little yarn scrappage. This one's like a bit of a mixed bag. I just need to sort this out and put that into the right colours. And this is my fleece for when I have, I suppose, enough scraps that I want to start having a go at yarn, like hand spinning some yarn. I'm quite excited about that. My little like pet brushes that I bought to have a go with that, and my spindles like under there somewhere. Where it is. Oh, there it is. There's my little spindle. In here are these are all the like corded cheap knitting needles, and then under here is my Knit Pro like proper ones, and then just some stitch markers all in here, and a tiny little jar of random buttons. So I'm just going to quickly tidy that back away. So in this box is kind of like just other bits. So I've got those little baby cardigans that I've got for when I eventually set up my Etsy shop, whenever that will be, and just bits that I kind of bought ahead of doing that, and then like plushy eyes, ribbon. I put this yarn in here just because it's quite bulky and I didn't think I could squeeze it into that other box, and then I kept those little swatches, and then I've got just some faux flowers in here as well. So that's that. I stick this little pack in here, and then I might just quickly squeeze this like chocolate brown yarn in as well. Might as well just squeeze that in this, because the box that I've got out there is pretty full and I want to be able to get the lid on it nicely. So that's that. This is the yarn that I've had for ages and I haven't used it for anything, and I'm not sure if I ever will. Maybe I can make like a little tote bag out of it or something like that, just to store vegetables in, or if I ever went to a farmer's market, which is very unlikely. So yeah, there's this bag. It's pretty good, and that goes on there. I've just got like a bag of like rubbish. This I just couldn't be bothered to try and untangle, just lots of rubbish that I can go and throw in the bin. And this is my big kind of like box of yarn. I was really tempted to keep this out. Mind you, I haven't really done anything with this since I bought it. I started a cardigan and then got bored and ripped it back. But yeah, as you can see, like it is pretty jam-packed and full to the brim. And then we've just got all of my pillow stuffing, which can go away as well. So there we have it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and just going through my really messy yarn stash. I've just got a few little bits of tidying up to do here and there, but I think I'm going to end the video here, particularly because my phone storage is about to run out, so I kind of need to edit this video and another one. Yeah, and currently looking like a crazy mess. So yeah, good. I think I've done well, and I'm pretty happy with how it's all turned out. So yeah, if you enjoy this video, please think about giving it like a little thumbs up, and if you like this sort of content, maybe think about subscribing. It really helps out my channel a lot. And yeah, if you're new here, my name is Jenny, and I would love to have you like just hang out with me once a week. Yeah, so until my next video, have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye.